From the shoelaces you tied this morning to the very fabric of space-time, a hidden world of intricate complexity is woven into our reality. Today on G Fun Facts Online, we're unraveling the surprisingly deep and captivating world of knots. It's a journey that will take us from ancient survival tools to the absolute cutting edge of physics and biology, revealing how a simple loop of string can hold the secrets of the universe. The story of humanity is literally tied up in knots. For thousands of years, they were one of our most essential technologies, used for everything from building shelters and crafting tools to recording information. But knots were more than just practical. Think of the beautiful, endless patterns of Celtic knotwork in the 1200-year-old Book of Kells, or the endless knot in Tibetan Buddhism, a symbol of eternal interconnectedness. But when did we start thinking about knots, not just as tools or symbols, but as objects of scientific study? The first real push came from a brilliant but ultimately wrong idea about the nature of atoms. In 1867, the famous physicist Lord Kelvin watched his friend Peter Guthrie Tait create mesmerizing smoke rings. Seeing how stable and complex these swirling vortices were, Kelvin had a revolutionary thought. What if atoms themselves were just knotted vortices in the luminiferous ether, a hypothetical substance then believed to fill all of space? This vortex theory of the atom was elegant. Different chemical elements would simply be different types of knots. The stability of knots would explain the stability of atoms. It was a beautiful picture that captured the imagination of the scientific world. Inspired by this, Tait began the enormous task of classifying all possible knots, believing he was creating a periodic table of the elements. Between 1876 and 1885, he published the first ever knot tables, classifying knots with up to 10 crossings. It was painstaking work that laid the foundation for a new field of mathematics. But as science progresses, theories are tested. Dmitri Mendeleev's periodic table, based on chemical properties and atomic masses, proved far more accurate. And the final nail in the coffin was the famous Michelson-Morley experiment of 1887, which failed to find any evidence of the ether in which Kelvin's knotted atoms were supposed to exist. The vortex atom theory was dead. But the mathematical study it inspired was just getting started. Knot theory shed its physical aspirations and transformed into a vibrant field of pure mathematics, a playground for topologists. It wouldn't be until the late 20th century that a series of stunning breakthroughs would bring knot theory roaring back into the scientific spotlight, with unexpected connections to quantum physics and the very building blocks of life. So what exactly is a mathematical knot? To appreciate its power, we have to get a little abstract. Forget about rope thickness or friction. In mathematics, a knot is a closed, non-self-intersecting curve in three-dimensional space. Imagine taking a piece of string, tying a complex knot, and then fusing the ends together to form a continuous loop. That's a mathematical knot. The simplest version is the unknot, just a simple, untangled circle. The fundamental question in knot theory is determining when two knots are actually the same. Two knots are considered equivalent if you can smoothly deform one into the other without cutting the string or passing it through itself. Think of wiggling a knotted rope around. Any shape you can make without cutting it is the same knot. To study these 3D objects, mathematicians project them onto a 2D plane, creating what we call a knot diagram. These are the familiar pictures of knots, with lines crossing over and under each other. The key to understanding these diagrams is a set of 3 simple rules called the Riedemeister moves, discovered in the 1920s. These moves, a simple twist, sliding one loop over another, or sliding a strand across a crossing, are the fundamental ways you can change a diagram without changing the actual knot it represents. Riedemeister proved that two knots are equivalent if, and only if, you can get from one's diagram to the other's through a sequence of these moves. But trying every possible sequence of moves is incredibly difficult. So mathematicians developed a more elegant tool, knot invariance. An invariant is a property. It could be a number, a polynomial, or something else that is the same for all equivalent knots. If two knots have a different invariant, you know for a fact they are different knots. The simplest invariant is the crossing number, the minimum number of crossings a knot can have in any of its diagrams. Another fun one is tricolorability. A knot is tricolorable if you can color its diagram with 3 colors, such that at every crossing the 3 strands meeting are either all the same color or all different colors. The simple trefoil knot, the most basic non-trivial knot, is tricolorable, while the unknot is not. This simple property can distinguish between them. But the real heavy hitters are the knot polynomials. In 1923, J.W. Alexander discovered the first one, the Alexander polynomial. It assigns a specific algebraic polynomial to each knot. It was a huge step forward, but it wasn't perfect. Then, in 1984, a massive breakthrough. New Zealand mathematician Vaughan Jones, working in a totally different area of math, stumbled upon a new, incredibly powerful invariant, the Jones polynomial. It could distinguish between many knots the Alexander polynomial couldn't, including some knots and their mirror images. The discovery was revolutionary because its origins hinted at a deep, hidden connection between the abstract world of knots and the very real world of quantum physics. This was later confirmed by physicist Edward Witten, who showed the Jones polynomial could be described using the language of quantum field theory. This incredible bridge between pure math and fundamental physics opened the floodgates, leading to a host of new quantum knot invariants and a much deeper understanding of both fields. So this abstract math, born from a failed theory of the atom, suddenly had profound real-world connections. And perhaps the most stunning application is right inside of you, in your DNA. The DNA molecule is an astonishingly long thread packed into the microscopic nucleus of a cell. As it's coiled and compacted, it can easily get tangled and knotted. And a knot in your DNA is a serious problem. It can stop vital processes like replication in their tracks. Fortunately, our cells have molecular machines to deal with this. Enzymes called topoisomerases. These amazing enzymes act like a molecular toolkit. They can cut a strand of DNA, pass another strand through the break, and then perfectly reseal it. They are literally unknotting your DNA at the molecular level. Knot theory gives biologists the mathematical language to understand exactly what these enzymes are doing. By analyzing the types of knots that are created or resolved, scientists can figure out the precise mechanisms of these enzymes. This isn't just academic. Topoisomerases are major targets for anti-cancer and antibacterial drugs. Understanding their knot-tying action helps us design better medicines. Knots also appear in physics, just as Lord Kelvin dreamed, but in a much more profound way. The Jones polynomial and its connection to quantum field theory mean that knots can be seen as the space-time paths of particles. Knot invariants can be calculated as quantum averages. This connection provides physicists with new tools to study fundamental forces and mathematicians with new inspiration from physics. The influence even extends to chemistry. Scientists can now synthesize molecular knots, actual molecules whose backbones are tied into a knot, like a microscopic trefoil. These aren't just curiosities. The knotted structure gives these molecules unique properties, affecting their shape, stability, and how they interact with other molecules. This opens up new frontiers for creating novel materials and tiny molecular machines. Even the digital world uses knots. The problem of telling knots apart is a tough computational challenge, driving the development of new algorithms. And some researchers are even exploring knot theory as a basis for cryptography, where the complexity of unknotting a very complex knot could be used to secure information. From the practical ties of our ancestors to the mathematical language describing DNA and quantum fields, the simple knot has taken us on an incredible journey. It's a perfect example of how abstract curiosity, even when it starts from a wrong idea, like Kelvin's vortex atoms, can lead to deep and powerful truths about our universe. The story of knot theory is a story of unexpected connections, weaving together math, physics, biology, and chemistry. Many mysteries still remain, but one thing is clear: the simple act of tying a knot is a gateway to a world of profound scientific discovery, a world where a tangled loop can truly hold the secrets of reality. Thanks for listening to Fun Facts Online.